Hello everyone, this is Kaylee from Just Nerdy Birdie Things, and today I'm here with a comic corner video, which is basically where I just round up the comics I picked up during the week and kind of go over them, kind of talk about them a little bit. So this is going to be a relatively short video because I only have 2 comics to talk about today. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first comic I have to talk about is Batman and Robin 29. I just have the A cover for this. This is part 5 of the Quiet Man storyline, which I think is going to wrap up probably in the next issue, but I'm not 100% sure. So basically in this issue, the Quiet Man has been apprehended and he is in Blackgate Penitentiary, where some guards who work for Penguin are going to put him out of his misery, essentially, before anything can happen. But Batman and Robin obviously are in his cell and they talk to him, and they learn that even though his son's body was not at the scene, his son was killed during a deal gone wrong over some silver that him and his son found in a old mine shaft that the Quiet Man was going to sell to Carmine Falcone, or was going to sell through Carmine Falcone, essentially. So the Quiet Man's name is Cyrus Mercer, his son's name is Alvin, or was Alvin. But so he tells Batman and Robin the story, and then Batman and Robin leave with having revealed the information to the Quiet Man that the person who's been behind all of this is actually Scarface. Because as was revealed, I think at the end of the last episode, Scarface has kind of been manipulating the ventriloquist, or Arnold Wesker. I always want to call him Albert Wesker because of Resident Evil, but Arnold Wesker all along. So yeah, so Scarface is kind of behind everything. Scarface does break into a police department Arnold Wesker does break into a police department and reclaims the Scarface puppet. So he is now kind of the ventriloquist, and Scarface have been reunited. So they are going after the Penguin, Two-Face, and I think that's it. And whoever Two-Face put in charge of, not Two-Face, whoever the Penguin, sorry, put in charge of the Tiger Shark's turf, I guess. I forget his name. I know it's in here, so let me take a look actually. Paulie. His name's Paulie. Could not. I get lost with some of the henchmen's names because they don't last very long. So yeah, so he's the first person to get taken out by Scarface, and now Scarface is after the Penguin. Bruce and Damien have a conversation in the car about the Quiet Man, his motives, and how similar he actually is to Batman, in the sense of if circumstances had been different for both Bruce and Damien, they could have turned out just like the Quiet Man. So, or Cyrus, I guess. So yeah, so it kind of ends off with everything kind of coming together at a Valentine's fundraiser at Sacred Heart Hospital. The Quiet Man is on his way there. He breaks out of Blackgate using the guards that were originally going to take him out, and I think that's where it's leading into the last issue of the storyline, which is going to be kind of everything coming to a resolution. I don't think we're gonna get rid of Penguin or anything, but we'll see how. I'm particularly interested, I think, in seeing how it resolves itself for Bruce and Damien specifically, seeing as Batman and Robin is centered around their relationship so much, and how, like, especially Damien is kind of coming into his maturity, I suppose. But yeah, so that leads to the second comic I have, which is DCKO issue number 3. Now I got the bracket variant by Dan Mora, which is, I really like this because it's got that kind of grainy Street Fighter aesthetic, of like the choose your character screen. So this is the 3rd issue of the main line. I think there are 4 in total, but this is, I think, round 8. Third round. It says 3rd round of the tournament, but I think it's round 8 or something like that. But we'll call it round 3 because that's what the issue calls it. And it's basically the final 8. So in this, the final 8 fighters basically are going to form tag teams, not with each other, but with other the people who have already fallen in the tournament, if that makes sense. So to go through them, I'm going to use the cover to help me remember. Superman teams up with Shazam. The Joker teams up with Mr. Mixius Spitlickle, the head imp, the most powerful imp. I'm just going to call him Mixies from this point onwards because I'm convinced I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm going to call him Mixies from this point onwards. Cyborg pairs up with Connor Hawke, so Green Arrow. Wonder Woman pairs up with Big Barda. Lex Luthor pairs up with Supergirl. Guy Gardner pairs up with Hal Jordan. Zatanna pairs up with John Constantine, and Aquaman pairs up with Hawkman. Now, some of these fights don't really get a lot of attention. And just spoilers. Spoiler warning, the winners are Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. So we've got two heroes, 2 villains that go to the last round, so to speak, or the next round, but I think it's technically the last round because it would be penultimate, wouldn't it? Because it goes from 4 to 2 and then 2 to 1. But either way. So Superman, as you can tell from the cover, Superman and Shazam fight Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner. Basically, Superman gains Shazam's powers. Hal tries to use a Black Mercy on Superman, but Superman kind of obviously overcomes that, and he uses Shazam's powers to win. The Joker fights Zatanna, so Joker and Mr. Mixies take on Zatanna and John Constantine. Originally, it looks as though he's pulled in the Batman Who Laughs, but John Constantine kind of sees through that, and it's revealed to be Mr. Mixies. And basically, they use Joker Venom. They basically use like a Joker Venom on Zatanna and John Constantine. Wonder Woman and Big Barda face Cyborg and Connor Hawke. So just sheer so Wonder Woman basically wins because her gauntlets amplify a strike, I think, from Big Barda, which kind of wipes everyone else out, but she also gets information on the Heart of Apocalypse from Big Barda. Lex Luthor beats Aquaman and Hawkman basically by poisoning Supergirl with red kryptonite and a little bit of silver kryptonite, so that she basically goes mad and beats them, essentially. So that's a very basic breakdown of the fight. It gets a little bit chaotic in the middle because it's jumping from fight to fight to fight to fight. You don't see it kind of one following the other. It kind of bounces around between them. And then when the final 4 are left standing, they are transported to Earth, where the last last page shows the Absolutes and Booster Gold. So Booster Gold has been overtaken by Darkseid this whole time. So yeah, but yeah, so one of the last things is going to be them fighting the Absolutes, which I'm actually kind of hyped for. I really am kind of looking forward to them facing down or at least a version of the Absolutes, because I don't get the vibe that these are the exact same Absolute versions as like what we've been reading in the comics, but or if they are, they've been pulled from a different point, because this is still Superman's soul suit, and he lost this suit a couple of issues ago in Absolute Superman. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. I am annoyed by the whole booster gold thing, not because it doesn't make sense or anything like that, but we literally just did this with absolute power, where we had somebody who was working for the bad guys infiltrating what's going on. So it's kind of annoying that we're using what feels that exact same plot point again, but that's my personal opinion on it. But yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing what happens with the absolutes, because I haven't read Absolute Wonder Woman yet. It's on my list, haven't read it yet, but I'm really enjoying Absolute Superman and Absolute Batman, so I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with them in this storyline. I'm also curious to see how the Batman Night Fight stuff is going to tie back into the Apocalypse Tournament. But yeah, that is all the comics that I picked up this week. Next week should be a bigger thing, because Nightwing comes out next week. I'm not sure what else comes out next week, but at least Titans and Nightwing come out next week. So we'll see what happens there. I've been enjoying the Nightwing run too, and we're kind of heading into the last part of the Cirque du Sin stuff, so I am actually looking forward to that. But yeah, that is the entire video for this week. As I said, it was a nice and short one because I only had 2 things to talk about. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'd love to have you here, love to have you be a nerdy birdie with me. Yeah, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends. Bye.